Right, so this is a Hyundai i20, 2010. This is the first Hyundai i20. We're going to be changing the control arm, lower control arm on the left hand side, otherwise also known as the A-frame. Right, so that's the control arm with the ball joint on. The ball joint is gone, and what I mean by gone is it is eroded and it is loose and rattling. So how do you test for that? Jack up the car and then hands on either 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock same time, shake it, and then alternatively 12 o'clock, so 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock shake it, and 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock shake it. And it was shaking, I think, when it was on 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then when I peered underneath, you can see it, you can see the rattle. So that's going to cause, the owner was complaining of noises, so it's going to be causing noises if it's doing that, and also it's going to do a number on your tracking, so it's going to cause you extra tyre wear. Alright, so it's an MOT failure if you don't get it done, so MOT is coming up in a month, so this has got to be done. Last time this was done, I think I last tried it, it was maybe like 8 years ago, so it's lasted that long, although the part is relatively not well, it's not so combust. It's quite a kind of, it's like a plate folding on both sides. You'll see in a minute when I show you. It's not like the best sort of part for this particular car. The weakest part of this car is its suspension, I would say. Alright, so I'll be jacking up, put it, because I'm on the slope, put it bricks on the rear wheel, and put it in gear as well. Obviously take the I'll loosen the nuts before I jack it up, and I'll be looking for a good jacking point, and also a good place to put my axle stands. Right, so jacked up, double axle stand. The place where I press the car up is that bolt there. I can't put the axle stand there because that point there is the actual place where I'm going to be undoing the bolt. Alright, so axle stand's got to sit here on this particular car. Possibly it could go over there, but I don't, maybe not. Possible it's there, you could go over there, but then leaves you a little bit of room, less room. I'm not 100% sure, but that possibly could be one. But it's okay here. Right, okay, so I've WD-40 some of them key points there, and a little bit on the ball joint, and you might be able to see it wobble if I shake it. See it? Let me just keep my camera steady and you'll be able to see it. See it? Here. Okay, so I'm going to try and do it with the minimum amount of fuss possible. Just undo the bolts. See if I can just take that off with a ball joint remover by pressing it out. Using a clamp, when I tighten it, it will just put pressure on to release it. I'll undo that bolt a little bit and then put the clamp. It looks like a claw hammer, it sits in there, and then it will push down on it. Alright, okay. Spare part, by the way, was only £40 from Halfords, so they delivered quite quickly. These parts are all rusted, they're not going to be moving, so I'm not going to touch the tracking. It looks pretty rusty and tight, so leave that all alone. Okay, that one's a 17 ball joint, one is 19, and the other rear part of the lower control arm is 19. I'll need a spanner on the top to stop it spinning. I'll tell you exactly what that is in a second. So the top nut is a 19. I think I remember on some cars, I think on this car, this was turned, the bolt sat in like that, which was, I thought was ridiculous, so I changed it so that the bolt sits in like that and it will just fall off, which makes a lot more sense. Try this first. So while I was doing it, I'll bring it this way. The years have not been kind. Okay, with a larger lever, longer lever. Okay, turns. Note to self, don't do it so tight. It's rotated anyway, so whether it rotated the whole bolt, that's fine. And be careful of heat build up. If you're doing that, undoing a bolt like this, heat can build up and that could absolutely wreck. It will just snap the bolt. So do it slowly. Do a little bit at a time. I think you're meant to get new bolts. So always remind yourself which way it is. Yeah. So nice and slow like that. Give it a rest. Otherwise heat will build up and you can snap your bolt. Especially when it's tight. Note to self where I have. Okay, I'm just going to leave that for now. Okay. Need a 17 socket just to do the same job. I'm trying to bring the angle and the shot on this. Things are in the way. 17. Let's move that one. It seems to be too difficult. Yeah, that's okay. Just to get away a little bit. That's fine. I think that will work. Don't know about this one. I think it could be a ring spanner job. Don't think I can do that with a socket. I am going to cover the floor with cardboard in it. 19 ring spanner, made in China. What is that, in the 80s? 1980 something. Very good quality. Try and find the right angle to undo this a little bit. And then be whacking it that way. This needs to be lightly hit. I don't think this should be on too tight. Should not be. Right, come in that angle. Don't forget you can, some stage if you find it it's a bit awkward, you can rotate the angle of the steering. If that ain't fitting, it ain't going the way you want it to go. Okay, that don't want to move. I think that's the angle. Just do a little reminder that's the right way you're hitting it. You don't want to be tightening it, of course. May need leverage. May even need taking the calibers off so I can hit it at a proper angle possible. This might work. Okay, that's done. Okay, see that the hitting not too hard. It's caused it to loosen. That's okay. We got there. One of the tricky areas done. Now the other tricky area is that ball joint is rammed into there over years of use now. It won't want to come out, so we'll need to pop it. Right, so I'm going to do, you never know, it might come straight out. And do the bolt somewhat. I mean, ideally you can press it from the top, which is what we're going to do. There's no room. I might turn the steering. I'm going to turn that bolt until it's flush with the top of the threads, and then I'm going to use a presser. Hopefully that might work. I'm just going to keep doing this. This is the more difficult bit. Success depends on the next bit of outcome. If you don't do this, you run the risk of ruining the thread just pressed on it. So the nut will protect the thread. Just judge it when it's just level with it. Let's do a bit more thread. So now the thread is protected. I could use a ratchet 19 and speed things up. It is nearly there. You see what I mean by ratchet 19 is this. So flip it one way, flip it the other way, tightens and loosens. You take your pick. Put it now, put a bit of tape to make it a bit more kind of too late now bringing it in now. But just feeling for if it's flush. I think it is flush. Just to make sure. One thing you don't want is any of the threads sticking out. Nearly. Okay, that's flush. Right. So we need the kind of thing that's going to press on the bolt to release it. Can't remember what tool that's called. So look for a tool like this. This sits on top. I'm going to slide these two forks underneath between the rubber. Well, it should be silicone. Let me just get you a better look at this. Slide it between the silicone and the metal and the pressing thing. That pressing thing at the top, that thing there, sit on top of the bolt, and as I tighten, it should release it. It goes with a bang normally, so just to let you know. Okay. Don't know what sort of angle this is going to give you. Hopefully it works. You can see what I'm doing. So I need to unscrew it. Anyway, you might need a bit of a bang on a hammer just to get it sitting on top. Now I have to change the steering, turn it around. That's out of the way. I think I might turn the wheel to the right just to get everything out of the way. Okay, so a little bit of oil on the forks. I think I mentioned that. Don't worry about this, we're getting rid of it, so we're going to be a bit more brutal, hopefully. It'll sit in there. At the moment it's not going to sit very well in there. It's got to sit in there well. Okay, let's go going a bit more. We'll put a lot more grease on there. Hammer it in. In fact, I'll probably put anti-seize on it. Okay, I'm hoping this will work. I turned it enough. I mean, I pushed it in enough. May not be enough. I hope it is enough. Yeah. The shaft hub is in the way, isn't it? Okay, let's see what happens. Let's ratchet it. If I loosened it all the way, would it go a bit more? Let me just put it on soft milk. Okay, it's sitting on there. Right, using a ratchet. Yeah, should all right. Not going to want to do anything, it's just pop hopefully. Yeah, it's done it. So you need tools like this, and it just about fits, doesn't it? I'm going to take off the hub assembly and all the shaft and thing, just about fits. So it's gone through, isn't it? Yeah, it's gone through. You can see it. That's fine. And the nut's done his job. It's kept the thread. I can check by rotating it, loosening it, etc. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. No problem. Right, okay. Right, so it's a case of pry bars, etc. The lever the thing out. Let's get all the tools together. I just put the tool back in just to double check. I'm 100% sure. Put the tool back in, hammered it a little bit, went in further, and pushed the bolt down a little bit more. Now the problem is now, as I turn this, the whole shaft rotates because it's got a nylon bit at the end. So that is another problem. So I need a grasp hold of the thread to be able to take the whole nut off. And I'm going to be having a little think about that, how I did it before. Two things I can do. Use a strong, not needle nose pliers, strong pair of pliers to grip on it. I'm not sure this might work. The other technique is just to hacksaw it off. Hacksaw it off there, and just you're going to get rid of it anyway. Okay, we'll try the non-destructive way first. Rotate them around. Not working at all. Oh, it is working. Okay, surprised. Might need to get if the jaws fit, a stronger pair of pliers. You see what I'm doing? Right, so I went to saw it using a hacksaw, saw. Then I want to leave enough so I can press on it using the same pressing tool. Press down on it after I've sawed it off. Then I got worried because how am I going to take the nut off with just that end sticking out? Would a clamp, would a vice be strong enough, etc, etc. So when I went and tried to turn it again, it started turning, because what I wanted to do was to rotate the shaft so that I can saw it from a different side, and but it started rotating, so a bit of a mix and match. What's going on here? It's fine. Saved the nut. That nut's coming off now. I'm going to undo it by hand. Okay. Look in there. It looks okay. It'll sit nicely on the new shaft. I'll put some anti-seize on that straight away. I'll press that down. That'll be, you know, the jaws of the presser will easily fit on that now. Okay, that's the tough bit done. That's what we're looking for. It comes off like that. That's that done. I'll just get a 17 and undo the bolt. Use a ratchet of some sort. Right, so this one's fairly easy now. It's coming out nice and easy. Undo it by hand even. That's that one out. Using the ratchet again. Hopefully I've done it enough so we can check. Oh no, a lot more torque. Okay. This is quite a good socket wrench. You can make it longer. I can't remember where I got it from though. This one's on much tighter. Okay, stuff. Remember the heat I talked about? Let it rest. Shorten it now. Didn't really need the top spanner at all, didn't you see? It didn't move. And I'm doing it, oh no, it was sitting against there. Okay. The nut will fall off at some point, so catch it, don't let it go anywhere. Just, I can't remember the torques on these, just do it up tight, but not super tight, not that. You don't need a 1 meter bar to tighten it, just do it tight. You know what I'm doing. So I've really got the nut, just drop straight down, keep that of course. Same job with the front. Hopefully I'll show you how I wiggle this out. It's going to be a wiggle job. So this car is about 13 years old now. Still going strong. Notice there's no thread on apart from this bolt. Usually it's this part that's the weak point. A little wiggle out. Right, that's dropped as well. Good, keep that. I'm going to put, notice I put anti-seize on there before. I should put anti-seize on the bolts as again. Just going to film myself trying to wiggle this thing out, and then I will stop the video then. You know what you've got to do. You just got to wiggle the new one back on, put the bolts back on in reverse order. That's already loose, that's loose, that's stuck now hopefully. Let's turn the steering straight again, might give me a better angle. I just noticed something about this car. With the engine off, I just turned the electrics on. I was hoping that would be enough to give me power steering. There was no power steering, right? a little bit hard to turn, however not impossible, which is great, which means that if somehow your alternator goes, which happens often, doesn't it? If your alternator goes, you'll still have steering, it'll just be stiffer. Whereas on the Ford Focus, when the alternator went, I had nothing, I had absolutely nothing. So there it is, job done. And so I'll put the part next to it, the new part, just to compare. Well, I should have compared it, I did compare, but anyway, that's it. So let me just do one last scene. It's absolutely ruined. There it is. There's a new part, and it comes with a new nut, which I will use. It's got a little cap on there that needs to be taken off before installation. That is it really. Styline, distributed in Great Britain by Eurocar Parts, but this was actually in Halford, so actually they must have just ordered it from Eurocar. But I don't know where it's been made. Doesn't say. Your guess is as good as mine. Lasted 8 years anyway, the last one, so pretty good. Look, you see what I mean? It's just rolled over steel plate. It's you know, it's optimised for strength with its angles and lumps and bumps, but it's not a solid piece of steel, and it's rolled over at the edges. And you cannot, I emphasise, you cannot press these out and push another one back in and hope for the best. I've tried it. I tried pressing it out before. It just fell straight off again. Anyway, I wonder if I can do this within about half an hour installation. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe button. Thanks for watching.